Broncos. Oh, man. I was at the game. I don't know if anybody else out there was watching, but what a game. Stressful game. These guys are going to give me a heart attack. But but we have a wonderful interview. I absolutely love this lady. This is you. Come in before, and it's always just such a pleasure. And our Vice President Sarah wishes she was here as well, just because you're so sweet and such a great topic. But before that, we've been talking about music, which is great. We both have very eclectic tastes, so love it. But Christina Hoffeld is the owner of Huff House Health. That is www. Do you even need to say www anymore? That's everything. HoffHouseHealth.com. 913-235-0744. And so if you are listening on K4CO Radio on our website or the apps on your Android or Apple, feel free on the apps. You can message the station. And our producer will alert me to that if you do have any questions. If you want to see our beautiful faces, you can watch on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that fun stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw those in the comments as well. So, but let's get started. I absolutely love it just because so many people are frustrated. Right now. But first, I wanted to start with, why is the enrollment period for insurance so highlighted? What is the big importance of it?
So it's so important right now because this is considered open enrollment. What the ACA did when it was passed is it created an open enrollment period so people could get health insurance. And what they did is they coincided it with a lot of group coverage. A lot of bigger companies tend to have their policies start January 1st. So they're enrolling about this time of year. So they said, well, if we're going to do that on the individual market, let's have it coincide. Right. And that way, people could also check their group rates and see if, hey, is this going to be better on the individual market for me and my family, or is it going to be better, still with my company?
Right. And that's a big thing that I've learned a lot. When I was with a company, I didn't know, I thought, my company, I should sign up with my company. Yeah. But a lot of times it can be better if you don't. Yeah. And you get another one.
Yeah. I think everybody should shop. Right. And there are companies that enroll in June. That's not to say that 100% of companies do, year end or beginning of the year to start new plans, but they do enroll whenever they want. But the vast majority of them start January 1st. They want that January 1st start date. And so,
correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of changes should happen now, as opposed to during the year.
Oh, like, what do you mean changes?
Changes in your insurance, in your health insurance, that's why the enrollment period is so big.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's split up. This is also a common misconception because I think we all talk about it. Oh, open enrollment is November 1st to January 15th. Well, yes, but, right? And there is a big but. Right. What a lot of people forget is the November 1st date through the December 15th date, that allows your plan to start January 1st.
Right. It doesn't start until.
Correct, until. Right. But people think open enrollment, I can get a plan, January 5th, and they'll backdate it to January 1st. No, it's going to start February 1st. Mm-hmm. So open enrollment is a 2.5 month period, but you've got two very definitive start dates, January 1st and February 1st. Okay. So it depends on your goals. And a lot of people that get panicked because they're like, I missed the deadline. I'm like, no, you have the second wave of open enrollment to help create that cushion for you. Right. And so here we can get you enrolled. You're just going to miss the month of January regarding health insurance.
And for all the procrastinators.
Yeah, and that too. And that's okay. I get it. Me too. I can be a procrastinator as well. So I get it.
Everybody can.
Yes.
And for those of you, or for those that don't know, or aren't familiar, how do you describe Hoff House Health? I mean, what is the drive to go to you?
I'm consultative. I don't want to just put you in any plan. I want to make sure that the plan is right for you. So I want to make sure that this is going to not only be cost effective for you and your family, but your needs are going to be met. Not necessarily your wants, because wants in health insurance can be secondary.
Everybody wants
something different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I really want to dive in. And sometimes that doesn't mean that everybody's on the same plan.
Right.
And sometimes people get really uncomfortable with that, but I'm like, listen, if this is going to save you $12,000 over the calendar year, split your plan.
Right.
Let's discuss what we can do with $12,000 or, and so I really try to help people understand health insurance as a financial decision, not just being able to go see your doctors.
Right.
And I think we've been conditioned to, I want to go see this doctor, so this is why I need health insurance. No, just like with any insurance, you need health insurance to protect your assets. And so that's why.
And a lot of times, I just remember when I was working, with a company, and it was just like, okay, well, these are 3 plans.
Yeah.
It's very broad.
Yes.
And so working with you, you can really kind of fine tune everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Right.
And there I do have clients that are like, listen, I like this carrier. Mm-hmm. This is the only carrier I will ever be with.
Right.
I'm like, okay, here are the pros and cons of that.
Right.
I would like to show you other things if you're open to it and the benefits to those. But I also understand, and I'm not going to, push you into a corner just because, I think it's better. Because if you're not happy with what I'm showing you, providing you, then it doesn't even make sense, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be happy with the end result. And that's what I try to achieve, even if it goes against my professional best judgment.
And a big thing with you is, it's free for somebody to talk with you.
Yes, it's free for you guys to talk with me. It's free to have a plan review. I'm always happy to break plans down for people. The biggest part of the plans that people should be thinking about are your monthly premiums. Mm-hmm. And your deductible and your out-of-pocket max cost. Because I was talking about this morning with somebody. She's like, what's a stop loss? I said, I need you to think about it this way. This is the maximum amount of money you will spend in a calendar year to stop the bleeding financially should something medical happen outside of your premium. So I said, it's like a faucet. Your stop loss can be like when it freezes at night and you have to drip your faucets a little bit, and you're just spending a little money here, a little money there, a little money here, a little money there, and you're working down to achieve this goal. Or it can be the faucets all the way on because you've had a major medical event, and then that caps the amount of spending, so you don't have to, go bankrupt. You don't have to mortgage your house. You don't have to, whatever the case is. And right now on the open market, those stop losses are in the $10,600 range, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. I don't know very many people that can just stroke a check.
Here's 10 grand.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Here. Yeah, exactly. And so you kind of touched on it. Is that kind of the one thing that people should consider when choosing a plan that they often overlook?
Yeah. A lot of times people look at just what the monthly payment is and they think about that.
Right. Well, because, exactly.
And I get it.
What's coming out of my account every month?
And I think that is a valid thing to look at. But I also think that you have to look at the whole of the plan, right? If you've got a really low monthly payment because that's what you can afford, but you're just getting over, cancer treatment or something like that, and your deductible is $10,600, or your max out of pocket is that, you're probably going to meet that, but that's still a lot of money to shell out. And prior to meeting that, how much is the insurance company going to cover you, right? A lot of people understand the 80-20 splits, 70-30, 60-40. There are plans out there that are 50-50.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. And I'm like, who can afford that?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Crazy. So, how do we navigate? Yeah, you might have to pay a little more monthly, but in the long term, it might serve you better because you could be getting benefits more readily with a lower deductible and a better percentage split because the insurance company should be paying. So should
be, exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, choosing healthcare, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you make it very approachable, very understandable.
Oh, thank you.
When it comes to that. So what does it look like when someone gives you a call? Again, they don't pay you.
Yeah.
Okay. You take them as like, all right, let's talk health insurance. I mean, what are you looking for with people? What kind of questions do you ask them? And what are kind of those deciding factors?
Yeah. The standard questions, it starts with what's your zip code? Because prices could be different based on zip code. And then after that, I get some demographic information from them, birthdays, potential height and weight if we want to go look at the private route. But I just make sure that after we've got that understood, okay, who are your doctors that you have to keep? What are non-negotiables?
What makes people say, I want this doctor? Just someone they've been seeing for a long time and they really like? Is that usually...
It's more than really like.
Okay.
There's typically some type of emotional connection with this practitioner because they've either saved their life,
right?
They've been with them a really long time and they've been through things with them, so they have the rapport. Anytime you get a new doctor, moving records can be a challenge, and so some of it is convenience, but typically it comes from that emotional attachment of, I mean, this person saved my life, and
right.
I feel cared for and seen and understood. And so that's why people have very strong ties to their doctors. And then you have others who are like, I go once a year. I don't even know if they know my name.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Exactly.
Right? And those are the people that open up a lot more flexibility for themselves with regards to health insurance options. And
that's big too, because I remember kind of growing up, it's like my doctor knew me.
Yes.
It's just like now it's kind of like a checklist.
It's hard. Well, because, it's the whole system, right? The doctors have to make money.
Yep.
And doctors take on health insurance, partnering with health insurance companies so they can get the volume to keep the practice in order. But the health insurance companies are saying, hey, we're going to bring you volume, so we got to get a discount for our patients.
For the services.
Right, for the services, right? And so it's this, and then the doctors are like, well, now I can't eat. I've got to raise my rates so I can eat. And so it's this cycle, and therefore, because they're having to see so many patients, it seems less personal. It seems less like they know you.
Right.
And so finding practitioners that are really dedicated, and I'm not saying that all physicians are not dedicated. I really think they are. I think so many, though, are in between a rock and a hard place, right? And it's how do you navigate? So I do take into consideration, if this is the doctor that you just cannot live without, let's see if we can find something with this doctor in network to make sure you aren't having to pay an arm and a leg to go see them. And then sometimes medications are also something that I talk to people about, because if you're on a variety of medications, you need to understand what the cost is associated with these prescriptions and how your plan can cover them.
And we all know that prescriptions are cheap.
Oh, so. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
You are really passionate about what you do, and you used to be a chef.
Yes.
So, what really kind of pushed you into this line? What makes us passionate about it? I mean, you're definitely a people person.
Yeah. I think I am that person that if I am committed to it, I am committed to it. Therefore, the passion is part of all of that. Right. And I left hospitality. Our son was born, and just being in hospitality is not conducive to being a parent. It's hard.
Very true.
And I wanted quality time with our son. I wanted real time. I wanted to be able to say, we can go on field trips, and that's not a big deal, right?
And help clients when you can.
Right, exactly.
Your own time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I know you get it. Right?
I definitely get it.
And so that's, but I think for me, it's a personality side effect of once I've put my brain into doing something, I dive very deep and become very, very passionate about it. And it was great because I didn't know how passionate I could be about health insurance, but helping people has been wildly rewarding.
I think what you love is the education part. You like people knowing what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Because it's those surprises that come up that people are that's when they lose it.
Well, yeah, and that doesn't mean that there aren't clients of mine that have had surprises. But the great thing about it is they call me.
Right.
They call me.
Right.
And they're like, hey, I'm freaking out. I got this bill. What's going on? I'm like, okay, send it to me. Let me see.
And so this is something people, they don't just, work with you to set up the insurance. It's 6 months down the road. This happened.
Yes.
They can call you still free of charge.
Yes. This is an ongoing relationship.
You're
this
like an
is
advocate.
this is not transactional for me. This is, it was last month. I actually had a client. He told his physician's office to call me so I could talk to them about his plan and how it worked. And, it obviously, that was great for the client. The client felt very supported. But the doctor's office was like, wait, this is incredible. Now we have a broker that we can go and ask questions to about this stuff that we might not necessarily understand. And we will absolutely refer you to. And I said, that's great, but so I think that's kind of awesome.
Is that a good referral too? Like doctor's offices for you? Does that kind of open up a different...
It depends because sometimes when people are going to the doctor's office, typically they already have health insurance. Right. So it's a conversation that doesn't come up unless somebody is like in between jobs and their insurance has ended and they didn't know, or whatever the case may be. And in those instances... hey, I've got a person that can help you navigate.
Right.
Hey, let's look to see, especially if you're in between jobs. That's something that Friday my stomach was doing somersaults. Just last week, I spoke to 3 different people that had gotten laid off.
Wow.
And they were navigating their COBRA options as opposed to, coming out on the open market and figuring out what was going to be best for them, their household.
And times have changed a lot when it comes to that. I mean, I remember years ago, it was just like, okay, you don't have a job. All right, well, health insurance is going to be like $2,000 for you a month or something like that. Things have changed from that a little bit.
No,
right?
No, because COBRA is still wildly expensive.
Okay.
Right? It is the whole of the premium and then an additional 2 or 3% that are administrative fees. So if your boss, or the company you were working for was covering 60% of the premium and you were on the hook for 40, now you're on for 102 or 3%.
Right, because of the fee.
Premium.
Exactly.
And so it can get, and then if you add families into that, it's a lot. It's a lot. So your monthly, spend goes from a couple $100 a month to $2,000 a month, and it can be unaffordable. And so I think COBRA is not always a bad option. I have seen, this has been the one instance, I've had it one time. Somebody got laid off from a tech company and their COBRA was almost the same price as it was for their monthly payment. Right. Because the employer was still giving money to pay for some of that, which is unheard of. Like, that just never happens. And that was the one time where, in my opinion, COBRA was reasonable. Right. So, exactly. Yeah, but everybody should always be looking.
Well, now it's especially a little stressful for everybody today. What are some of the biggest changes in health insurance that you've witnessed, and what is going on today? Because that's a big thing. Yeah. It's just really changed a lot. So kind of touch base on that, because I know a lot of people probably, open their email or their benefits just like, why am I paying 3 times more?
Yes. Yeah. So there has been a little bit of miseducation. So the tax credits are not going away 100%. It's built into the Affordable Care Act. But when we were in the height of COVID, what happened is there was COVID relief funds that went into health insurance. And it opened up a broader scope of people to get tax credits that has gone away. The COVID era tax credits. And so now people that are making certain incomes who were used to having tax credits are no longer able to get those tax credits. And last week I saw a client who was able to get a tax credit. Now they are not able to get a tax credit, and their premium jumped something like 54%. Ooh. And the price, if they had done full price to full price, still it was something like 36%. Because of the carrier. Right. And so that's a big jump. That's a big jump in cost. And so that's been one of the big changes. Not only monthly cost has gone up, our deductibles and out-of-pocket maxes have gone up. So last year they were about $9,200. This year they are in that $10,600. Right. That's a lot of money. I mean, the $9,200 was a lot of money. $10,600. Exactly. That's a lot of money. Right. And so we're seeing increases there. The coverage across the board, at least from what I've seen so far, has been relatively the same. They haven't reduced any of the benefits other than increasing cost.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. And what's interesting too is we were talking about this before the interview, is that things have started off a little slow, and you think that's the government shutdown?
Yeah, I think people have been anxious. To know what is going to happen. Are we getting tax credits? Are we not getting tax credits? Right. I'm going to hold on because I know that I have until December 15th. And you've got two avenues here. Private health insurance is available 365 days a year. Okay. So you don't need a qualifying life event. You don't need a special enrollment period to get that. Right. And if you're healthy, that might be a really great option to help you save money. The marketplace plans, or here in Colorado, the Connect for Health plans, you've got a special enrollment period, open enrollment, or you need a qualifying life event to get that insurance. And I think people were waiting for the Connect for Health plans because they weren't sure, are we going to have subsidies, like extra subsidies, to help offset the cost? And we see, I've heard over the last couple weeks, well, I don't know that I can afford this. I think I'm going to go uninsured. And that makes me scared. That makes me scared. Yeah. Because then when something catastrophic happens, or you've waited until it becomes catastrophic, that just puts a deeper strain on the system for everybody else. Right. And I think, unfortunately, a big kind of chunk of that now is, we see, which I think is still hilarious to me, where you say, okay, what's just the out-of-pocket cost? Yeah. As opposed to what they're going to bill the insurance. Yes. So people think, okay, for the little stuff, I'll just say I don't have insurance. Correct. Or don't use my insurance. Yes. Or go without it. Yes. And then something big happens, and then that's when it gets you. Yeah. Everybody needs insurance for the catastrophic stuff. I think paying out of pocket for the small stuff can be really smart. It can be really smart. And people can have insurance and say, I want to pay out of pocket. Yep. And get the less expensive route. Correct. They absolutely can do that. Right. But I definitely think that everybody needs something, because we don't plan for, how can you plan for the unexpected? Exactly. That's what insurance is for. Do you advise people to ask what the out-of-pocket expense is, or when they say, who's your insurance, say, well, how much is this going to be? Yeah, always. Okay. When you're making the appointment. Right. Not even before you get there. Hey, what's the cash rate? What's the out-of-pocket cost if I want to cash pay this? And it's a great leveraging tool for people to get back some of their power, so they don't feel at the mercy of the insurance companies or the doctor's offices. Right. Kind of take the power back a little bit. Yes, exactly. What's kind of a good story, because you've been doing this for a while, just a good client success story that kind of reminds you, this is why I do this? Yeah. I had a call. This was over the summer. I got a call, and it was a cold call. She pulled me up on Connect for Health, and she said, hey, I'm in between jobs. I got a call from somebody that wanted my credit card information before they even gave me quotes. And I was like, whoa.
That's a flag right there.
Yeah. And she said
bit.
that just didn't sit right with me. And I don't know a ton about health insurance, but that just seemed wrong. I was like, yeah, that was wrong. Please run. Run. Don't walk.
Right.
And I said, here is my process. I'm going to get some personal information from you. We are not going to take any card information from you.
Because it's completely free to talk to you.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even want to do that until you have decided that this is the plan that you want.
Right.
And then I'm going to tell you how it works, and we move on that way. But creating that expectation and transparency, it made her feel safe. And now it's funny because new job started, came off the insurance that I provided, but she's one of my biggest referral partners because of how
you treated her.
And how,
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was shocked that was the first thing that another broker said to somebody was, hey, I need your
credit card information.
Right. And therefore that means to me, they probably weren't a broker. It was probably a scam.
Right.
Or something. And so that's kind of the biggest and best, because it made me feel good because I was doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know? I was doing the right thing.
And you're the expert on this. It's like when it comes to healthcare and especially legislation.
Yeah.
My life is way too busy to care.
Yeah.
I could care less right now. I go to somebody who knows it. So,
Yes.
I mean, how do you keep up with changes in healthcare legislation and ensure your clients are still protected on there? I mean, what's the key there? Because your clients don't care.
Yeah,
to keep
no,
up.
they don't. And so I will give you my little trick. Anytime legislation comes out, because I do have a newsletter that I follow that is for brokers only.
Okay.
And it's got a lot of legalese and a lot of industry speak. And typically the articles are very, very long. I get
Wait,
bored.
legislation articles are long?
Oh my gosh.
That's so weird.
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly.
So I honestly, what I do is I copy and paste them into an AI software, and I say, please summarize. And then it gives me, and then I can say, okay, this is a great jumping off point. And then when so I have an understanding, and then when I am less tired, I will go back and actually read the whole thing.
Right.
To make sure that, hey, this is right before I give out
AI
information.
misses stuff too. I mean,
exactly.
Yep.
But to get the big bullet points, right, that's huge. And it's wildly helpful. And it's going to be able to search and summarize faster than me. Mm-hmm. And so that's been a wonderful tool, and that's how I've been able to keep up with what is going on in regards to legislation and how we're having all of these changes. Like last week, it was last Tuesday, somebody said, oh, they voted. I was like, nope, not till Wednesday. That wasn't till Wednesday, right? And it wasn't even till late Wednesday night. They voted to open the government. And,
right, exactly.
You know, but it was because all the different news sources were saying this, saying that, saying this, saying that. I'm like, no, that's not what's going on.
Yeah, media misleads. That's weird.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
I know,
before.
right? Oh my gosh.
Goodness gracious. For all of our audio people who are listening on K4CO Radio, this is an interview with Christina Hoffeld. She's the owner of Huff House Health, hoffhousehealth.com, Hoff House Health.com. 913-235-0744 is your direct number on that. And yeah, it's completely free. People don't pay you. You are an advocate, I would say, for the health insurance industry. How many different carriers do you work with?
Great question. So in Colorado, all of them.
All of them?
Yep.
Okay.
All of them. I can work with all of the carriers here in Colorado. And then on the private side, there are a couple carriers. We've just added Delta Dental as well to the bevy of options. So people have, because there are a couple different dental options that I can offer. And we've just added Delta to the bevy to, do cost comparison because they're one of the largest. So they have just different options that I can compare and figure out what's going to be best for the client. So,
right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I want to kind of go back to, an employee who has a family.
Yeah.
A lot of times, too, I've heard, just doing the family plan for an employer, from an employer, is not exactly the best fit for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it's you have to think about what your goals are. Larger groups will most often have PPO networks, which means the large national networks. It will work in all 50 states. So that means your specialty doctors are most likely going to be in network. You have just more selection. However, you have to pay for that. There's a cost to that, right? As the employee, it's a great option. But if you can't afford your family to be on this plan with you, then hey, let's look at all the different options, right? Let's see if we can find a private PPO for your family, and then everybody has that. Or let's see if we can reduce some costs by finding a plan on Connect for Health that might be more suitable for your family based on your needs. Again, it's that needs assessment, right? But I don't think just blindly taking group coverage, especially when you have a family, and I've seen it where the employer is covered or the employee is covered really well, and then the spouse and dependents are at more than 100%. There was a quote that I looked at a couple weeks ago, and the kids' rates were average of $500, and these were kids that were like 8 and 5. And I'm like, their insurance should not be $500 a month.
Right, exactly.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Unless we've got like concierge ambulances coming to your house, when little Mikey falls out of the tree.
He's got
right?
the sniffles.
And we're bringing the casting unit and the mobile x-rays and, all the things. Like, but that's not what that was.
Right.
It was just regular group health insurance. And for kids, again, you just need to be a little more savvy, because up until this year, I could confidently say, hey, if you add a 0 to your age, that's going to be about what your health insurance should cost. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And that's how we were gauging cost for people. So they got a real understanding. And now with the increases, that's no longer. There are a few plans that still do that, and we can talk through that if the event arises. But yeah, that was a great litmus test to get people to understand and feel empowered again. Of, oh, I'm getting this quote for $5,000 a month for my family of 4 or 5.
I must be 500 years old.
Right. Exactly. Like, how do you understand if you're getting scammed or not? Right. And so things are a little different now, but that used to be the old way to really be able to assess cost.
So when it does come to that, like, what advice do you have for families shopping for insurance? Like, what are the most important things to consider? Because I take it even, if somebody's trying to choose between their employer plan and another plan, you can look at the employer plan. Yeah. You can see all the differences between everything. So really, they just need to talk to somebody like you that can compare. Because
just talk to a broker. Don't do it by yourself. It's kind of like for sale by owner.
Right.
And really, kudos to those people that have had really successful transactions, but a lot of them don't go well for all of the obvious reasons.
Well, and I think there's a big thing where your employer is set with this insurance company.
Right.
That insurance person that's there at the work to answer questions, they're not going to steer you.
No.
In different directions for the most part. This is what they sell.
Correct.
So.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would say get an independent broker and really allow them to help. And it does not have to be me. I work with amazing people who do the same, where they want to look at your plans and say, actually, you're in a really good spot. This is great. Your instincts were right. Or, ooh, I don't know that I would do that. And here's why.
And that's where you find those people. I remember having my insurance reviewed by a gentleman. He says, do not change it.
Yeah.
And he was looking to have me
Right,
on
of
his
course.
client,
Well,
but
that's
he's
the
like,
thing, right?
don't do it.
And I think that is the real test of a broker living up to the ethical standards that are dictated by this industry is, will you not just think about your bottom line? Will you actually do what is best for the client?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I have heard that people should not just call the 800 number.
No, friends don't let friends buy insurance online. Friends don't let friends call customer service by themselves.
We all know how great customer service is these days,
Yeah.
Especially 800 numbers.
Yeah. So there's different broker customer service. So just the customer service, there's a different broker line.
Okay.
And it's mainly because we have information where we can kind of cut through the garbage more readily. And so we have just a more educated conversation right off the bat.
Right.
Rather than it being emotional of, oh, I got charged this and now I'm scared, right? I'm scared because I don't have the money to pay for this.
Right.
And how am I going to, do whatever it is that I need to do? Whereas here we are, we just want to help you. Like we don't have any money invested like you do in these bills. But if you're our client and you tell us we need support, there are separate broker lines, to deal with this. So let us go to work.
Right.
Let us do that.
Let us work for you.
Yeah. And give us a little bit though. Like, here's what. I would love it if we could get responses instantaneously. That would be amazing. Outside of open enrollment, the response time is significantly less. Right now, I just need everybody to kind of take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath and know that we are helping and we're working on it.
Right.
But this is the chaos time. And so, it's not that it is lost on us that this is scary and we're trying to help. It just takes a little bit longer because customer service is busy as well.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. What kind of plans do you offer? Because I would think that you're someone who's the bachelor by himself, just needs some help, all the way up to, hey, we have a huge family.
Yeah.
We need to get everybody covered. So, do you go as small as just the really basic plans all the way up? Okay.
Yeah. So individuals, families, small businesses. And I say small businesses because those are typically the solopreneurs or people that have 1, 2, 5, 10 employees. Because if they start looking at larger group coverage, it's wildly expensive for them. And so we work together in a partnership of, all right, here's what looks good for you all. And it doesn't have to be one size fits all.
Right.
Let's figure out some creative solutions so you can get to your end result.
And so you also you work with businesses, small businesses, to try to get their employees covered to see what works for their company.
Yes, that's exactly right.
It's all over the board then. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're a business owner, if you're an employee, no matter what, how often do you think people should kind of look at their healthcare? Do you think it's once a year that someone should call you, say, all right, let's look at this. What are the changes? All that fun stuff. Is it twice a year? Or is it like just sign up? And I made the mistake of signing up years ago and then I just didn't think about it.
Right. Yeah, no, I think once a year is really good. I think that's really healthy unless you've had a change. And for individuals, is that change you've moved? You have a new baby, or your kids are grown and now you're empty nesters and they're off your health insurance now. Any type of life change, I think that should trigger a review. Are these changes you mentioned
qualifying events? Okay.
Yes.
So all of those changes you just mentioned can be a qualifying event.
Job loss, right? All of these things I think should trigger reviews.
Gotcha.
But most people, if you're not having any of those, then once a year I think is sufficient.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Again, for all the people listening, it's Hoff, Hoff huffhousehealth.com. 913-235-0744. And if you're just kind of catching up, going in on this interview right now, it's going to be on all over our K4CO Radio social media outlets for at least a month. So rewind it, kind of go through it, and if you have any questions, you can comment or just call. I'm curious, where do you see the biggest opportunities for improvement with the health insurance industry?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Because everybody knows it's broken.
Yeah.
It's always been broken, probably will always be.
Yeah. I don't know, actual real affordability.
There you go. That's
I
a
mean,
big one.
I think that's a huge one. Especially in places like Colorado and California and New York, where your cost of living here is
insane,
expensive. And you're a native. You've seen all the changes, right?
Yep.
You've just seen things tick, 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 tick.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I think actually looking at what affordability actually is, because from state to state, that means something different. Affordability here is different than affordability in rural Alabama.
Right. Very true.
And I don't think they should be given the same metrics. Right. And because there's a federal implication to the marketplace plans, that's what is happening, is you've kind of got this blanket for cost, and it's not necessarily taking into account the cost of living of places where people are also trying to get health insurance. Therefore, there's this side effect of unaffordability. And so I think that's the biggest thing that needs to get fixed.
Is to get the federal out of it and more state run.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know how that would look.
Right.
I don't know what would happen, but even if it was still federal, they can't just put a blanket over everything, right? Because it's not working. It's not working.
It hasn't been working.
It hasn't been working.
Right.
And so I think everybody really wants insurance. I think people deserve insurance. I really do. But cost is the prohibitive factor here. Right. And I think if we can get that under wraps, everything else will come. So. And
definitely for all the smaller stuff, all the visits, all the little everybody ask what would be an out-of-pocket for this is what you say.
Well, and I think we've also been a little conditioned because on marketplace plans, your wellness, so that means annual physicals, well woman exams, mammograms for women in a certain age group are covered, or there's no out-of-pocket cost. And I always have to realign people and say, yes, you are paying for this though.
Right.
You're paying for it in your monthly premium. Right. The money's got to come from somewhere.
Right. And you kind of highlight preventative too on your website. Preventative is a big deal for you. Yeah. So when it comes to that preventative, what should people be thinking of? Yeah. Regular physical, regular scans, regular whatever it is.
Yeah. Doing the small stuff. And again, it depends on your situation, and understand that, sometimes preventative might not be part of a plan on the private side. However, that doesn't mean that you have it for free on the other side, right? And when doctors, hospital systems can find something when it's small, it's easier to treat, which means it's less expensive. Right. And that cost... The idea, I don't know how true this is, but the idea is that cost ultimately gets passed down, reducing overall cost for everybody. Right. One of the reasons the plans on the marketplace are so expensive and always have been is because the insurance companies are looking at you as one of one, not one of a group. And that's a lot of times why group insurance, especially for the employee, is less expensive. Because you are one of 100, you are one of 500, you are one of 1,000. Right. And, the insurance companies, that looks good for them. Because they're like, 1,000 people aren't going to get stage 4 life-threatening cancer in the same calendar year. That's just not going to happen. You know,
Right, exactly.
They gamble, right? But on the individual market, you're one of one.
Right.
You're one of one. And so your rates tend to be a little higher. And so, you know, it's just a
But
challenge.
more tailored to people, would you say?
What do you mean?
The insurance rates may be a little bit higher, but it's more tailored. So, I mean, instead of a group thing from an employee where it's just kind of like this all in one, here's everything that you get, it's talking with someone like you and it's just like, what do you need?
Yes.
Tailoring the insurance to the individual.
Yes, we do still have kind of plans that have certain structures, right?
Right.
I can't piecemeal a marketplace plan. On the private side, there's a lot more flexibility.
Lot of piecemealing. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh my gosh. On the private side, I can do deductibles as low as $2,500. That's huge.
Right.
That's huge. On the open market or marketplace, I don't have any control over what those deductibles look like.
Right.
I have no control. Right. So it just depends on kind of, again, that needs and that perception of what you want, what you need, what you think is valuable.
Right.
So,
no matter what's valuable is doing those the preventative.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yeah. I think even if you're having to cash pay for those. Right. That's still, it's going to put you in a better spot because, again, finding something early, there's survivability and just the treatment. Everything is less expensive. Everything is less catastrophic. Everything is less emotional and difficult, in my opinion.
Right.
So that's, I think making sure that you can go to the doctor, whether it's setting money aside, because that's basically what you can do with an HSA.
With a health savings account.
Exactly.
Right.
You're setting money aside for stuff. You don't necessarily get any benefits until you meet your deductible. But yeah, you're setting money aside for that. So I think people just need to change the perception of health insurance and really, really look at it from a financial perspective.
Right. And talk with somebody like you just to make sure that you're comparing all of the different possibilities.
Correct.
And the costs.
Correct.
And everything. So.
Correct.
Yeah. Let Christina do the hard work. You just talk with her.
Yeah.
You know, because I know you enjoy that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, Christina Hoffeld, owner of Huff House Health. HoffHouseHealth.com, 913-235-0744. Also, people can email you. I want to give out your email.
Okay, great.
Christina, that's with a C, Christina at HoffHouseHealth.com. But definitely check it out, especially in today's world where I know everybody just don't listen to the media, don't listen to the news, don't listen to everything. Listen to somebody who's in the field, who knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's such a pleasure speaking with
you.
you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You. Of course.
Same.
Of course.
It's super fun.
Yep. You have good Thanksgiving plans. I know you said off air that you're hosting everything.
Yes. Yeah. So man. I'm hosting. I hosted last year and it's super fun. So we're going to do a smoked turkey and a roasted turkey and then all of the normal sides. But it's fun because it makes me just be in love with cooking again.
I mean, you were a chef.
Right,
before all of this, exactly. You love it.
Yeah, and I, narcissistically, selfishly, it is so rewarding to see people take those first couple bites and just kind of fall into themselves because they're just so satisfied with how good everything tastes. And oh my God, it makes my heart so happy.
That's all. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too.
Definitely. Thank you very much for tuning in, and it's always a pleasure. Again, if you are watching on our social media, this will be on our social media for at least a month. We have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, and Instagram is for one. It's just live there. So I know you don't just have an Instagram account. So switch over to the other ones, and you're all over social media as well. Yes. So if people have questions, and on LinkedIn, people can easily find you and just message you.
Yes.
So definitely.
Yeah, and Facebook too.
And Facebook as well. Awesome. Yeah. Reach out, everybody. And yeah, it's not as stressful as you think. Just let Christina take care of it. So tune in a little bit later today at 6 o'clock. We have Jack Gillet and Randy Almquist with the Veterans Whiskey Society coming in. Wonderful organization that combines whiskey with veterans to really fund a lot of great veteran programs. So
amazing.
Really great. Definitely. We're going to get into the afternoon mix of music for everybody right here. And thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, definitely reach out. You guys take care. Have a great Monday.
Thank you, Josh.
No problem. Take care.
Yeah.